Hey fifth graders, welcome back to art class. It's Miss Mitchell. For this week, we are going to be working with patterns and creating a landscape with lots and lots of different patterns. This week, we are going to be working with patterns. Now, I do not have a PowerPoint to show you guys for this week, so we are going to just dive right into our project. I want you to get out a piece of paper, whether that's blank paper like this, or if you have notebook paper, you can use notebook paper. Use what you have available to you. Also get out a pencil and an eraser. Remember, it's always good to start with a pencil and eraser just in case you make any mistakes. You can always erase them. Once you start adding color with crayons or colored pencils or markers, you cannot erase. You can't go back anymore. So I always recommend you starting with a pencil. Now, whether you want to work with your paper vertically or horizontally, I'm going to leave that up to you. You can choose which direction you want your paper to be. We are going to be making a patterned landscape today. So once again, choose whether you want your paper horizontal or vertical. I am going to choose vertical for mine, but if you choose the other way, once again, that's up to you. So I like to work from the bottom upwards. So a landscape is a picture with land, like mountains, hills, trees, grass, bushes, things like that. Okay, it's nature. So my landscape, I can do however I want. I'm going to just start by drawing kind of like a curved line like this. It doesn't even have to be perfect. That is my first line. Now I'm going to add some hills, some more hills to mine in the back. How you do yours is up to you. If you want like a taller hill, you can do a taller one. If you want to do a couple of small ones like this, you can do that. Okay. Again, if you ever need to erase, then that's what your eraser is for. We all make mistakes, even I do. So that's why I keep my eraser close by me when I'm working. We should also add some trees. So I'm going to add a tree right here. And once again, I do have my eraser handy. I'm going to go back and erase the lines that my tree is going through. So here's kind of the grass. You can see that the trunk of my tree is going through the hill right here, so I'm erasing that part. My tree has some tree branches. This is how I like to draw my tree branches. If you draw yours differently, that's perfectly fine. And here are the leaves. Mine's a little scraggly looking. Okay, so I have one tree right here. I might want to add some mountains in the back. So my mountains are going to be a little bit pointier. And I'm going to go up. And my mountains are covered by my tree, but I know that they are there. Maybe I'll add another mountain range in the back right here. So these mountains are way further away in the back. If you want to add some other trees, you can. I might just add a few more right here. So these trees are further away, that's why they're smaller. The closer up that they are, the bigger that they're going to look. The further away that they are, the smaller that they're going to look. I think my two trees here are good enough. And if there's anything else that you want to add, you are welcome to add. Okay. So maybe, for example, I want to add just a little lake right here. This is a lake of water. Your landscape doesn't have to be too complicated or too complex. This is what we're going to work with our patterns. If you want to add a sun in the sky or some clouds, you can do that. I think I'll add some clouds, and then we're going to start with our patterns. So these are my clouds. Okay. Now, with our patterns, the first thing that I'm going to do, if you have a black marker or a black colored pencil or a black crayon, I would suggest using those or one of them to outline the lines that you just drew. So I'm going to go over all these to make them stand out much better on the paper. Make sure when you're doing this that you take your time. If you go too fast, you are going to very likely mess up, or you're going to make something go off the page when it shouldn't be going off the page, or your shapes might look a little funny. So don't go too fast. I have finished outlining everything with black, and now here's where we're going to add our colors and our patterns. So if you want to use markers still, if you want to use the other colors of your markers, you can do that. If you want to use colored pencils, you can do that. I am going to use my crayons because I have more colors with my crayons compared to my markers and colored pencils. But you use what you want to use. So in each space on our landscape, we're going to fill it with a different pattern. Now these patterns can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be. Notice here what I'm starting with. I'm just starting with some wavy lines going all across here. Also notice how I'm trying to keep my wavy lines pretty close together. They don't have to be touching each other. There is a little bit of space in between, but try to keep them as close together as possible so that you can fit in as many lines as you can. I'm going to go around this lake, so I'm not going to go right through that. I'm just going to stop when I hit it with my crayon. And I'm going to fill my lake with a different pattern when I get to it. So you can switch colors whenever you want to, and I'm going to switch my pattern. So for my lake, I'm just going to do some swirls, and I'm going to fill it up with swirls. This is what it's looking like up close. I'm going to move on to my next section. I will change colors. I think I'm going to grab a violet right here, and I'm going to choose a different pattern. So you're going to keep going with your patterns until you have completely filled up your paper with different kinds of patterns. Again, you can use any type of pattern that you want. You can use any color that you want. That is where your creativity is up to you. Make this your own artwork. Don't copy mine. Think of all the different kinds of lines you can use. You can make up your own kinds of lines. This one right here, I like to call a castle line, but there's really no name to it. That's just what I like to call it. It's like the top of what you see on a castle. So your patterns can be different kinds of lines. They can be different kinds of shapes. They can be different colors that are alternating. All right, I've added all my patterns, and the last thing I'm going to do before I'm done is just color in those patterns with some other colors. Here is my finished patterned landscape. You can see I colored everything in. I did the sky as well. And so the very last thing that I want you to do once you have finished coloring in your landscape is to take a 5-second video of your artwork on Canvas. Everything is done through Canvas. If you do not know how to take your 5-second video, then go to the art classroom, go to the assignments page, make sure you click on this week's assignment, and there should be a video tutorial on how to make your 5-second video and submit it to Canvas. So do that for me, submit it through Canvas, click that submit button. So do that for me, take your 5-second video and submit it through Canvas, and you are good for this week. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.